Hey guys, this is just a picture in natural light. And going ahead and jumping right in, I'm using both of the Haley's foundations. I'm going to mix the matte and the luminous foundation. I'm actually going to use just a little bit less of the matte foundation and a full pump of the luminous foundation. I do want to be a little bit glowy today, even though my skin is combination to oily. I am going for not just a holiday makeup look, but just for the season, just this time of year type of makeup. So I do want more glowier skin, and just going to pounce this in. This is my Shop Miss A $1.55 sponge, which is wonderful. It's so good. You can get it off Shop Miss A, and they do have different sponges, but this one is my absolute favorite. It is so much better than a beauty blender and does not soak up foundation. And I usually use this sponge when I do like foundations that are more luminous, just because it gives it a better like glow at the end. This sponge it's good for all foundations, but I just noticed that my skin is a little bit more glowy when I use this. Like, it's very pretty. It makes it look natural. It doesn't look like makeup. You can see it right there, just like that natural glow. This sponge is really good though. It's super soft. And then gonna hop right in. Love this concealer, Dose of Colors. Gonna put that just in the corners of my eyes. And then I always just prime my eyelids with the same thing that I'm hiding my dark circles with. So I don't use any like eyeshadow primer or anything like that. I don't feel the need. I've been using concealer on my eyes for forever now, and I never get creasing. So just going to take that same Shop Miss A sponge, dab it in, and this little Eco Tools, this came in a brush set. You get 3 brushes. I did get this at my local Walmart, and this smaller brush is so good for the inner, like it literally fits right in there. So that made that look airbrush. Going in with my Maybelline Fit Me powder, just going to take a little bit on that Shop Miss A sponge and going to set everything down where we put concealer. And then I am going to set my whole face, even though I want glowy skin. My natural oils are definitely going to show through, so no worries there. And I'm also going to go back in where I want my glow to be with my highlighter. But by a 3 or 4 hour mark, I will be looking luminous, so not too worried about it. But I am going to set everything down because that Haley's Beauty, like the luminous foundation, is a little bit tacky. It never really dries down like powdery, so I do have to set it so I can set my other products on top. But this foundation doesn't look like caked up or anything like that. It still looks beautiful, looks like foundation. It's got high, medium to full coverage. So just feeling my face, because like I said, I didn't put too much of that powder on. I wanted to make sure my face wasn't still tacky. Going in with this Real Techniques brush that I love, and then my Park Ave Princess bronzer, and just gonna put that all over the hollows of my cheeks. I love this brush for this. It's not real dense. It's like super soft, so it really like puts it on there, but it doesn't make you look like a clown. So just putting that on the hollows of my cheeks, perimeter of my forehead. I do like this bronzer. It does smell like coconuts, and it is kind of a heavy smell. Just a little side note, if you don't like that, you might not like this bronzer. I do normally use my Milani Silk Matte Bronzer, and that one still does smell like coconuts, but has a very light scent. This one is kind of strong, but nevertheless, still beautiful, and I do use it. So just kind of using these patting motions everywhere, and then going to rub some of that on my jawline. Going right in with this number 10 Essence blush. I have been showing this blush so much love because it is so beautiful and so good. You see how pigmented it is, and I'm barely just like tapping that in there. And you can see how pigmented it is. And for $3, you guys, if you don't have it, I would run and get one. You don't have to have this shade, but this shade to me on my skin tone is beautiful. So, and it's a good fall color / seasonal color. It's a more like mauvey, rosy color. So I do absolutely love it. Going in with my little Milani highlighter brush. I did also get this from Walmart. And going in with my Makeup Revolution And you can see this here is super pigmented. I absolutely love it. I use it in a lot of my videos. One little stripe and you'll have a glowing face. And I also really love this specific highlighter because I have textured skin and this does not show my texture at all. It still makes my skin look like smooth. It just makes it look like I'm glowing from within, even though I like to overdo sometimes, but it does not emphasize texture. So if you had textured skin, I would go pick one of these up. They are so good. And then I'm going to jump in with my Morphe 35XO palette and going in with that first matte cream shade. Just going to run this all over my eyelid just like I would normally do. Just to give my other eyeshadows a smoother base. Then I'm going to go in with these brown colors here. We're not going to do any pinks today. So with that eyeshadow I just showed, that looks like a light brown. It's almost like taupey color. But it's very beautiful. I'm just going to run that in the crease of my eye very quickly. I did both sides. I do love this palette. I don't know, I've seen mixed reviews on this palette, but to me it is so good, so I'm glad that I got it. To me, if for $25 and 35 shades, it's awesome. I'm going in with this warm brown tone shade here. And I'm just going to buff that in. I'm not just putting this on the outer V. I'm really just going over what I just did. But not going to put too much color on my lids today. I'm going to go for a more neutral brown eye. So I'm not going to use too many of the colors in the palette. Just sticking with those brown tones. And then same thing, just buffing that in where I put the transition shade. And then using that same warm brown tone, and I'm going to put that under the lower lash line. Same thing with the other eye. These shadows are like butter, you guys. They are so good. And there's no kickback. Morphe eyeshadows are really good. And as you can see, going to go in with that lightest shade in the palette. It's almost like a silvery ice shade. And we're going to highlight my brow bone. It's so pretty, this color, especially when you use your finger. I'm going to go in with this light gold shade, and I'm going to use my finger, of course, because I use my finger for any like silky, shimmery, glittery shades. And as you can see, when you use your finger, it's so pretty and so pigmented. So never use a brush for any shadows like this. Only ever use a brush for matte shadows. Now you can spray your brush with some like makeup setting spray and use the same like glittery, shimmery shades. I just prefer not to. My finger is the best tool I have found, so that's what I'll continue to use. And by the way, guys, this color is everything. It's like a white gold. And it was so pretty, I just wanted to add some on my cheeks. Just combing through my brows. Yes, really I put eyeshadow on my cheeks. I do not have sparse brows. They're just buffing a little bit, so I really don't do anything to them. This is my Kat Von D tattoo liner, and I will be back. I did do that off camera just to save time. It is so much easier for me to do that off camera, so just for the sake of the video. But I do love the Kat Von D, and I also do love the NYX, the matte liner. So good, you guys. And I think it's like $6 for the NYX one. But I do have the Kat Von D one, so I did choose to use that today. And going in with a few coats of this Tarte mascara. I think it's the Light Camera Lashes. And then on top of that, going in with, of course, my Thrive Cosmetics, because this mascara is the best mascara in the whole world. It does not flake, it does not budge, it does not smudge. Like, when I say it doesn't move, it doesn't. It gives you the most volume, the most length. My lashes are naturally long. So, you guys, if you have like sparse, short lashes, I would try this mascara. I've not found a dupe for it. So sorry about that, but It's like one-of-a-kind mascara. So just coating the bottom lash line with that same Tarte mascara that we first went in with. Going back in with my Morphe palette with that icy shade. It's like a silvery gold icy shade. It's so pretty. And just going to highlight the inners of my eyes because you guys know I cannot finish a makeup look without doing this. This opens up your eye, makes you look awake. Going to add just a little bit more on the inner corner there and on the brow bone. Just wanted a little bit more shine up there. So deciding if I should go with this Dose of Colors Nude or this Maybelline Tattoo in the color Pioneer. And since this is a seasonal makeup look, I'm going in with this bright red. Yes, it's out of my comfort zone, but I was feeling the red today. It looks like this. And this actually is the liquid tattoo like lipstick. So you can eat, drink. This stuff is not coming off till you take it off. So that's just why I said it's a good seasonal pick, just because you're going to be eating, drinking, etc. And this is such a beautiful color. Like I said, this is in the color Pioneer. Going to go in with my LA Girl setting spray. This is just the original one. This is not the one with the glitters in it. Just going to drench the face so I don't look powdery or anything like that. Let that dry. And this has a slight coconut scent. It's very faint, but it's very refreshing. And just going to take that same Shop Miss A sponge that we used to do our foundation with and just make sure that everything is even. Making sure everything just looks airbrushed and flawless. And making sure my face is totally dry before I go in with my favorite powder of life, which is the Covergirl Clean Fresh powder. I did a video on this. This makes your pores totally disappear. I do have larger pores around my T-zone, so even after I applied the setting spray, I do go in with this. Just tap it on my T-zone. I totally look like I have airbrushed skin. So there you have it. The finished makeup of the season look, and hope you enjoyed. See you in my next video.